Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So I'm going to go ahead and probably start making my way back across the U.S., get ourselves over to Missouri. We've done several loads here in California, seen kind of the really obvious parts and so forth. I'm sure we'll get back here at some other point in time, but both myself and folks probably would like to see some of the new map before they give us another map on top of it. So let's start heading that way. We're going to take this backhoe over to TRUCKEE. Alright, so the good news is we just get to pick it up here somewhere. Pretty much right where we were, just a little bit over. So that should hopefully make things a little bit simpler. So let's see if we can make this all work out. So we're just going to go very, very sharp. And then we'll start heading over. And it's not that sharp. My guess is we're further over than we... Yep. Alright. So let's just kind of keep an eye on where we're at. Alright. Because now I need to go this way a little bit. Stay looking. Ooh, nice plane. So... But yeah, we literally went around this... this trailer is what we did. We were on the other side, and now we're on this side. So let's see. Let's see if we get lucky enough. We probably won't. Nope. Alright, so we'll reposition a little bit. But this should hopefully be simpler now. I think it was because the front was not really aligned the way we needed it to be. There we go. Turn off the engine. And go ahead and load on up. And we will get this thing knocked out as quickly as possible. Alright, job tracking available. Just kind of reposition our sensor for beam eye tracker so that we can see things. I'm hoping I've gotten to the point now that it's kind of second nature, both on my flight sim and here. I also use it all the time on iRacing, but obviously iRacing doesn't make the channel, just because I've decided I'm not covering that there. Some of it obviously is because I'm not like phenomenally good at it either. It wouldn't be that exciting to look at. But I ran a Talladega race, and then yesterday I ran a race at the Long Beach street circuit on Formula 1. So I've got my weekly races taken care of, so that's been nice. But point being, I've gotten to the point where I think I'm maybe have developed the habit of, yep, I'm firing this particular sim up. Part of that process is just automatically going ahead and including the eye tracker, the webcam, and all that. So at least we have less of the forgetfulness. Alright, so I assume we're crossing, and then we're going up and over. There goes that plane. In American Truck Simulator, they do just circle over and over and over and over again. So it's all these things are on a loop. The car traffic obviously is a little bit different, but the rest of the stuff not so much. Alright, so we're entering the 101 south. And then we will go ahead and get our cruise control set here. So maxed out at 65 because of World of Trucks. But yeah, I was kind of like, I can keep moving around California and that would be okay, but you know, the whole point is California got redone to kind of bring it up to the standards of the other maps, so it's not like we're going to lose things. I mean, I'm sure this is probably nicer than some things, and maybe again Nevada that we're going to go into likely first right after we do that, you know, might be a little bit lackluster because of the fact that it kind of came out pretty much the next available thing, because basically California and Arizona were kind of, for all intents and purposes, as I understand it, released together. The game came out in California, but then I think they basically did a free DLC pretty quickly, if not immediately, that included Arizona, so that you had a couple states to go to and more room, obviously. And then I think Nevada was the next state that they did. You know, and then after that, I can't really tell you what the sequence was. For a little while, I was playing the game of like trying to get 100%, and I do have a profile that I did get 100% in California. It's probably not that way anymore because the rework would have introduced new roads, gotten rid of things, so I'd have to go fix that up. But the length of time it took me just to do California, yeah, my dream of kind of adding things and going through it in a profile ended pretty fast, because really I ended up spending most time driving around without any trailer, just with a truck, and just trying to discover roads and like literally going, you know, finding a four-way, let's say a four-way intersection at a highway, and if I could like cross the median and stuff like here, I'd just like drive the wrong way just to discover roads, and you know, go down ramps and then cross over and back up the other one, and you know, like stop here and then back up under the bridge and then go up, and it's just a mess. So, and it took, I swear it took me like 100 hours. So it was crazy, and I'm like, I get California was really big, but I'm like, I just don't see that the other states are going to be substantially less than that. What I didn't do was reset. Let's see, if I do that, we will be, does it show me on the bar down below how far we have to go? I don't see it, because I think the 57 miles is what I had done, which is the second from the right.
Keep right.
I think it was like 250
right.
that I needed to be at. Oh boy.
Exit right.
So, alright, and then which way?
Go straight.
Alright, so we're going to Napa and Vallejo. We couldn't go that way anyway, even if we wanted. But this will take us up and over. And so, like, an intersection like this is a perfect example. Like, I would basically eventually try to figure, like, okay, what can I do to cover all these ramps so that I don't have to come back here again? Because initially I was like, oh, I'll just drive and I'll just very intentionally take you know, certain directions, and it just was taking, it became evident it was going to take forever. And you know, sometimes you'd pass like a road that you're going both ways on, and you had missed like a little tiny piece, and you'd have to go look at it. And so I don't really know if I'm ever going to ever kind of deal with trying to do that. I mean, at this point, like, I was trying to do that, I think when Colorado was the last state that was released, is when I think I jumped on that. and was thinking, yeah, I'm going to keep up with it, and then every new state that releases, I'll just explore it in its entirety. And I realized how difficult it would be to catch up and do all that, and yeah, there's a boat out there. Interesting. I mean, we are in California, but there's not any obvious water anywhere. It's just a boat sitting out there in the middle of a field. So I did see that. I've got, Armpit does a really good job of watching these and saying what they've seen. And I'm like, I'm just driving. I can't look around. So I miss that. And sometimes I have to go back. There's people over there outside that bridge, standing outside that Humvee. Is he urinating off into the ravine there? I don't understand. So yeah, where it's a little slower. Oh, there's a Star Trek or something. What's that? 18,000. Oh, come on. Why are you stopping here? What are you... Oh my god. Okay, 18,000 voyages. Lovely. So, one world of free TV. Are there really like 18 across the entire Star Trek universe? Is that what they're implying? But yeah, that's like a real... Like Pluto TV is a free TV streaming service you can get in the US. They may be worldwide. But, so yeah, I guess SCS is just letting all kinds of ads in, or it maybe is a real company ad. Maybe they've just added that in there. I don't know. Either way, cool. But yeah, cost us $900 and obviously a little bit of damage running into that person. And yes, to some degree, I get there was a little bit of fault for me. Like, I should have been paying attention that a train was coming. But I was on the brakes as hard as I could be, and he just suddenly stopped. And I don't know, maybe he didn't. Maybe I caught up with him and hit him, and then obviously he will stop the moment I hit him. But I don't know. Someone can go back and watch the footage and see if I'm at fault. I probably am. I mean, either way, as a driver, as a professional truck driver, you're supposed to, avoid those kind of things. Alright. So, I've got to go. I figured we're not going to San Francisco again, so I'm like, yeah, this is going to require me get up here. It's not telling me to slow down, so I'm going to assume I can take this. I can't. Oh boy. I'm going to assume I can take this at speed. That was my professional driving, a little bit of my iRacing in there of, okay, when are my wheels going to lock up and I'm going to flip over the bridge. But some of it was obviously...
And then turn right.
You've got this giant heavy truck, but luckily it didn't turn into anything too bad. Alright, and yes, heading to Reno, which is in Nevada. That makes sense, so I'm going to come up here. And now we're heading on our way. Oh, an old VW Bug. Herbie, in a black variety.
Keep left.
Alright. So I assume we're not exiting anywhere here, because, yeah, I don't think there's another way. I think it's blocked. Like, there's probably going to be a cloverleaf here, but it's going to not let me. No, actually, it's not. Interesting. But yeah, the road coming in is blocked. You can see that.
Keep left.
But as I said, I think we had to go to 250, so we have about 100 more miles. And Truckee's pretty well represented in the game. Like, I think it was kind of the place to go to initially. I don't know. I could be misremembering that as well. Could be all a big dream. But that was a pretty big interchange, that's for sure. But I like the trees. I think they've done a really good job of really capturing it. And I go back to before I started the Back to Basics and was doing the coast to coast. I actually had someone ask me about it like last week, like what maps are used. I'm like, I don't even know if anybody maintains these anymore, but I like answered them as best I could. But I'm like, I literally haven't done it in I think like 3 years, so I wouldn't count on these maps being available. I think we're slowing down because of the truck ahead of us. Alright, he's giving me some room. Because, yeah, I don't know that we really should be going 45 up this, but we'll see. Yeah, we're definitely catching them. You know, and again, up the mountains and out of California, like, this would be pretty common. Okay, you're in the left lane, now go. You as well, you little sneaky, because you're going to cut me off, and that, don't you, it started to move, and somehow the sensor stopped it, thank goodness. Because I'm like, yeah, with the adaptive cruise, it's just going to slam on the brakes, and then it's just going to make this 10 times worse. So the affectionate term, maybe it's not really affectionate for this, is turtle races, although we're going pretty quickly. So we'll be past him before we know it, and then we can get out of the way, and then people can pass us. But looks like about 60 more miles. But I think we climb out of here and then go down, because Nevada does have some mountains. I just don't remember. It has been a good long time since I've been out in this area of the country, because we've just been spending a lot of time as the maps were coming out. I mean, I remember in this series, I think Texas may have been the first one that came out during this. But then, you know, we've done Texas, we've done Oklahoma, you know, we've done a few others. So I know they're doing a lot of stuff about Iowa right now, as far as little notices here and there, and you know, showing you pieces like, oh, here are the rest stops, here are these other things. So I'm guessing Iowa's going to be the next one that's going to get released, which I think would make sense. I think that's still the sequence they were introduced. But yes, I would not expect to see Illinois till sometime next year in 2026. But like I said, I do really want to get North Dakota mentioned as, you know, or the Dakotas, like, yeah, we're working on them.
Keep left.
So I understand the whole concept of, now if I rest now, it would be 4 a.m. And we're not that far. But I was half tempted, because we are getting tired, like we're going to have to rest soon anyway. But getting later into the evening would work out better anyway. And now, of course, he's in my way. Sinclair, yep, the little dinosaur fuel company. Now we're going downhill in a bit, because that was the signage. So we'll pop in there, and then maybe he'll pass us, because he'll suddenly be moving, and he won't want to slow below 65 like we have to. I see construction signs, so I'm going to get myself ready here in case we suddenly have to stop. It just says road work ahead. There's Truckee. Please, do you have the exit blocked? See, that is awful. I don't know, maybe they don't. Maybe.
Keep right. And then exit right.
Alright, so it's just, they're just working this section. Alright, thank goodness.
Exit right.
I'm like, I can't imagine there's multiple exits for Truckee. Exit right? I don't get this. I'm assuming we're going to go down the other road, but maybe not. Maybe.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
Alright. Which would be this one.
Exit now.
Alright, so just Kievit is
Left.
obviously
turn left.
against, just right against the highway, but because sometimes with the equipment, they have had drop-off points where you're basically delivering to a construction location. So there has been that before. So nice, just nice mountains. But once again, this is the out west issue. Everything is pine trees out here. So while the mountains are nice and all, it's just a lot of pine trees. So we prefer the mountains on the east side of the US that have deciduous trees and things like that. That was a loud Mini Cooper. Alright. So, don't know if we have any more lights between here and the delivery area, but obviously we'll have to drive what we have to drive. Okay, we've got Truckee discovered. Yeah, it's kind of right there. Alright. So, there might be stop signs, but this is pretty much, I mean, it's a bigger town than I would say being a small town. I mean, this has got 2 or 3 roads that have gone through here. 24-hour gas that it won't let me fill or sleep at. But yeah, I'm guessing it just goes under I-80 there. Nice lights. Very nice. I'm sure that's what it looks like in good old Truckee, but
Get ready to turn left.
alright, so kind of through the field here. Can't
Turn
quite
left.
see it. There's some other stuff there. So there's a lot of delivery points here, that's for sure. Lennar. Okay.
At the roundabout, take
Ooh.
the second exit.
We got really close to clipping that car, so that was not good. Alright.
Exit now.
So, the good news is we should have plenty of places
Turn
to
left.
deliver from and take a load out of Truckee, and that is part of what I do remember with Truckee is there was a good amount, oh boy.
You have arrived at your destination.
We got a little bit more room. I was worried. I'm like, wow, this is challenging, but actually this shouldn't be too bad. There's a good amount here. It's going to take a bit because it's a longer trailer, so actually it's not too bad. We got to go over there a little more than expected. Let's see if I can keep my head steady. Again, that's the one downside with how this works with eye tracker. Alright, we gotta get past that trailer, but now I should be... nope. So let's see. Let's try to straighten things out. I don't want to go too far forward, but... oh boy. I don't know that I can get over at the right angle here. Ooh, nice train. Come on, head. My head is not cooperating. So yeah, this is like literally in between 2 buildings is the problem. But I think we squeezed it in there. Alright. Oh, trailer damage. Well, oh well. Guess we didn't squeeze it in there. I hit the corner somehow, I guess. Alright. So let's see. Now if I go here, will that get me where I need to be? Or is it going to tell me no? Alright, there we go. Stop the engine. And let's deliver. Alright, so... not quite. Next time we'll go up. Alright, again, this is not the real economy version, so we make enough money that we can do repairs and things like that, so we'll be fine there. But definitely good to get another one in there. We'll be heading across the border as the goal, that we'll find something from Truckee and head into Nevada. But there's obviously just a lot of nothing in Nevada, so we'll see what that turns into next time. If you've enjoyed this and haven't dropped a like or not subscribed, please consider those things. It's the only thing I ask, and very important to a channel like myself. And I will see you next time.